Every person listening to this or watching this should be running Facebook ads in 2026. This is the game that's played. Now, I'm sure in the 90s, there were people that were skeptical about putting an ad in the yellow pages. Well, guess what? That was the hottest marketing channel at some point in our history. Well, right now, guess what is? Facebook. And it is so smart, so intelligent that it's going to put your ad in front of people that are thinking about getting their house painted or have talked about getting their house painted. Now, I know you know the weirdness behind the ads that show up in your feed. Well, guess what? Use it to your advantage. Don't be afraid of Facebook ads, but don't try to run them alone. What's up and welcome back to the Contractor Secrets Podcast. My name is Tanner and I'm excited to share with you 3 things that you could do right now to change the trajectory of your business in 2026. And I'm going to give you those 3 strategies that are going to help catapult you into a new stratosphere because everyone wants to know what's working and how to do it. But a lot of us are stuck with our hands full. I've been in this position, so I'm going to share with you what it is that I personally did in my painting business to work less than 5 hours a week and have an operational system running every day without me. So the biggest element, the biggest component of freeing yourself from the chains of your business is going to be your ability to create leadership within your business. Now, one of those things is being able to identify leadership in others. If you're the type of person that you don't think anyone else can do the job the way you do it, well, guess what? You'll always be a slave to your business. Some of us have an emotional attachment to our business for whatever reason. Maybe it's obviously our main income stream, and we don't want our reputation to be compromised by someone that doesn't fully understand how valuable the opportunity is. Well, that's where your ability to identify leadership comes into play, because if you can find someone in your business that cares a little bit more, communicates a little bit more, does the job a little bit better, then you can begin the process of coaching and mentoring this individual to eventually become a leader within your organization. Now, of course, you can hire someone out and you can, find a manager to come in and do this for you. But for me, I think that business is about building a kingdom. And in that kingdom, you have people that work their way up and then ultimately have a ownership feeling, and in some cases, maybe even some equity, which is going to make sure that the kingdom is ran the way you want it to be ran by someone that understands and has been trained and nurtured to do things the way that you want them done. Now, could you outsource this? Sure, but I think there's glory in having someone that comes in as a laborer or someone that comes in as a painter or whatever it is that they do and being coached and mentored by you, but only you can make this happen. And I always revert back to my story about Julio, who is now the GM of our painting business. And what he has done in the last 5 years is exactly what I'm telling you, because the fruits are now bearing and we're in a position where he can run the business, not only operationally, but with the same heart and soul as I ran the business, because I do care about my painting business and I care about the customers and I care about the way the team is treated. And he has been learning from me for the past 5 years and has finally been able to take the reins. So this is on you to be able to identify a potential leader and have those meetings, have those character-led meetings, have those tough talks, those coaching moments, and eventually you'll find someone that wants to learn from you and wants to be that guy. So that's one thing, is finding the ability within yourself to create leadership, but also seeing leadership potential in others. So that's number one. Number two is stop trying to do everything on your own. AI has made this incredibly harder, especially because before there was the ability to lean on the fact that you don't know how to create a marketing campaign. You don't know how to do your own website or your own SEO. And what AI has done is it pretty much makes it feel like you could do anything and you don't need any help. Now, don't get me wrong. I love AI and I love using it in my business, but there's certain things I'm not going to do myself for a few reasons. Number one, it's a waste of time. And number two, I don't want to. I simply don't. I want to allocate special things within my business to others, specifically marketing. For me, trying to run my own ads and figure out what ads are working and not working and tweaking the budget is something I want to place on the responsibility of someone else, because for me, it's simply just not worth my time. And even if I do figure out how to build the system, I've also got to figure out how to maintain the system. And what that could do is it could create a lapse within our business, which would ultimately mean that we'd go through a period of time where the momentum just stops. So in other words, if I have success with a marketing agency and then I try to create my own thing, it might take me 2 or 3 months to get the same results I'm getting already. This is not an area where I should be rebuilding. This is an area that I should be capitalizing on and focusing on other areas of my business. Now, maybe you're doing this because you're financially constrained. Well, let me tell you this. What really is happening in your business is you're doing a poor job of reallocating your profits. You need to understand that the money you make is not all yours. You have to sow back into your business. If you sell a $10,000 job and your costs are $5,000, all of the profit is not yours. You need to take some of that and stow it away for future marketing or future business. Every person listening to this or watching this should be running Facebook ads in 2026. This is the game that's played. Now, I'm sure in the 90s, there were people that were skeptical about putting an ad in the yellow pages. Well, guess what? That was the hottest marketing channel at some point in our history. Well, right now, guess what is? Facebook. And it is so smart, so intelligent that it's going to put your ad in front of people that are thinking about getting their house painted or have talked about getting their house painted. Now, I know you know the weirdness behind the ads that show up in your feed. Well, guess what? Use it to your advantage. Don't be afraid of Facebook ads, but don't try to run them alone. This requires a specialist. So number 2 is outsource what it is that you're not good at when it comes to marketing. Don't try to build it yourself. You want someone that has made the mistakes, but also has a pool of sometimes hundreds of other painting businesses and can easily identify what is working. So essentially, you get to leverage what works really well in their business and ultimately deploy it in yours without the cost of mistakes. So with that said, number 2 is outsource what you're not good at, especially when it comes to marketing. And number 3, the big one. My thing is, when it comes to business, software helps you skip the line. When you have a really strong software like DripJobs, for instance, that automates communication, that organizes your customers, that takes time off of your plate and essentially puts the burden and responsibility of certain tasks into a system, you can't beat it, because your well-being, your peace of mind is what drives the growth of your business. If you're operating your business off of pen and paper, or maybe using a simple app like Invoice Easy or Joist or one of those apps that are free, well, you're essentially not really capitalizing on the special tools that are out there built by contractors that understand your workflow. And really what that's doing is it's putting you at a disadvantage if you're not looking and actively seeking out a really strong software in your business. Now, as a painting business owner and also CEO and founder of DripJobs, we have 2,500 users that are using DripJobs not only to organize their calendar, their schedule, their proposals, their invoices, but they're using it to automate communication, drip out communication to their customers, which helps them convert leads to appointments, which increases their set rate, but even better, follow up with proposals that were sent. And that's what makes DripJobs special. So not only do we need a great CRM, we need supporting software to help make our business workflow really good. For example, a software I really like is Quo, which is formerly OpenPhone, but this is a cloud-based phone system. And what you'd be surprised in hearing is that so many business owners use their personal cell phone number to run their business. Now, I'm guilty. I did the same thing early on. And as soon as I found out that there was a cloud-based phone solution, and at the time it was Google Voice, I instantly switched to Google Voice and got my personal phone number off of all of my marketing. Why? Because when I go to sell my painting business one day, I don't want to have to give up my phone and the phone number that all of my family and friends have with the business. It just doesn't make sense. Also, if I hire an office admin, which of course at this point in my business journey I do, how am I going to give them access to the phone? Well, with a cloud-based system like Quo, you can easily add a user and all phone calls can get routed to that individual. And what's more, Quo has an awesome AI agent function within the software that lets you easily set up an AI agent to answer the phone for you in non-business hours. And finally, it integrates with DripJobs. So all of that communication history in Quo goes right into DripJobs so you can have a single source of truth and you know exactly what's going on with your customers. One more software I really like in the home service business is going to be CompanyCam. I love making sure my photos are neatly organized, and not only that, everyone can access them. We have an SOP in our business that makes sure that everyone can communicate and take photos, and not only that, it makes it to where we can hold our customers accountable whenever they try to say that we did certain things on the job. So photos are an absolute game changer in CompanyCam. I highly suggest that. So we covered 3 very important things. We made sure that not only are you running a sound business, but you're trying to multiply yourself by identifying a strong leader and nurturing that leader over time. Now, will it take 5 years like it did for me? Maybe, maybe not. But here's the thing. A good investment is worth it when it comes to investing in your people. And I talk a lot about this in the 31 Days of Value, of building a kingdom business and nurturing and really creating the value that you have in your business as a business owner in the lives of the people that work for the business. So you're not just building it for yourself, you're sowing into your people, which creates a compound effect of a really strong, sound business. So having an eye for leadership and developing leaders to ultimately free yourself is the first move you need to make in 2026. The second move is stop trying to do everything, including building your own systems, building your own solutions, using AI to do all this crazy stuff. Hire out the things that you don't know how to do, especially when it comes to marketing. This is not something you want to do yourself, especially if you're under $500,000 in revenue. You need to ramp up fast. You need reps. You need leads. You need to be able to understand how to nurture leads. You need to be able to understand how to sell to leads. It's hard to do that when you don't have leads. And then last, software. You have to make sure you have a strong software in your business in 2026. You will get lapped by companies that have a powerful CRM like DripJobs that can follow up and nurture customers. This is a game changer. Not only that, supplementing software like an OpenPhone style phone system or a CompanyCam to keep a cloud-based storage system for your photos. These are game-changing tools that you should have in 2026. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to subscribe to the podcast, to the YouTube channel, and more importantly, I'd love for you to check out our software solution, DripJobs. It's an absolute game changer designed to take the load off your plate and give you your time back. So with that said, thanks for watching. Make sure you check out the 31 Days of Value book available for home service leaders wanting to create kingdom businesses. You can find this on Amazon.